I'm here at the Royal Horticultural Society's Hampton Court Palace Flower Show. I'm here for the RHS to do some talks on the stage, and I'm also going to write up my monthly diary for the Telegraph. But for me, these shows are all about the show gardens, and I'm going to see if I can find some great ideas. It's not always the main gardens I head for first. For me, the smaller gardens and up-and-coming designers are just, if not more, inspiring.
We're actually special branch. We're just checking everyone's got the tickets.
Yeah! I feel like I'm back in Norway now. It's a garden to celebrate the Scandinavian lifestyle, and I think Will Williams has done that very, very successfully. I don't know what it is about the Scandinavian design. I think it's the very clean lines and the strong planting, but also some fairly original touches here. A plunge pool. Now, if it wasn't so cloudy, I might just plunge in there. It's got that amazing water wall down the back, and then if you look, it's a beautiful brick shelf that carries on under the water, so you could just pop in, sit on there, dip your toes in before plunging in and doing the odd quick length. And then of course the shower to wash yourself before and afterwards. What could be more convenient? And it looks good, doesn't it? And then it's got the lovely rustic touch with the fire bowl. I mean, what a wonderful fire bowl. So simple, just a few bits of metal to keep the wood in place. I mean, how good is that? And that contrasts so nicely against the very clean stone. The planting is clever because you've got really concentrated bits of colour there, which all looks very fluffy and soft. And then you've got the very clean lines along here where we've got Pinus mugo, those little ball pines, just sit there punctuating the gravel in between the philarea, the multi-stemmed philarea trees that come up between them. And I think as a frontage, it just sort of sets off the whole scene. And then it's divided into nice, definite areas, each slightly different. We've got this beautiful sitting area here with the seats, which look eminently comfortable. We've got the plunge pool, we've got the soft planting. The actual main paths that traverse the whole garden are gravel. What an inexpensive material, but it doesn't look inexpensive, does it? It looks luxurious because he's edged it with a very thin stone bands. So that's clever, and the gravel runs on into the planting and dresses it underneath. So you've got a nice continuum going through. We've got the silver birches, as you would expect in a Scandinavian garden, and the shelter for your eating area over the top. Very simple design, very, very effective. Goes up over the kitchen, and then the kitchen I think is just wonderful. I would want to take that home. It's got the brushed concrete surface everywhere. Again, you can do it yourself at home. It is not beyond the likes of me even, but it looks so effective. So I think altogether Will Williams has done an amazing job here, and I wouldn't mind taking this one home. And one thing that irritates me that he can do that I can't, he's got this amazing hedge of Ilex crenata. Now this is a hedge that's often tipped to be better than box, and I've tried to grow it in the UK, and I don't know anyone that's kept it growing for more than 2 years. In Japan we grow it, it's perfect on the acid soil, it does brilliantly, but Will Williams is the first person that I've known to grow it successfully in the UK, so well done. This garden has got some nice little touches too. It's designed by Samuel Moore, and it's all about what we're all talking about at the moment, living and working from home. What I like particularly about it with the two trees, Heptacodium myconoides, these are on my right and my left, and you can see they're multi-stems and they are about to come into flower. These are most unusual trees. They're called the Seven Sun trees, and they look very special when they're in flower. It's just a real shame that they didn't actually manage to get them in flower for today, for the show. And that was one of the reasons why he was marked down, because of the size of the trees and because of the hedge, because the hedge is a little bit thin. It's really difficult when you're doing these gardens, and this guy actually put in a lot of the money of it himself, the designer, Samuel Moore, which is quite unusual. It takes a lot to finance a garden like this. And obviously you don't have a limitless budget, and so you cannot get in massively thick hedges and massively big trees always, especially now because in the pandemic a lot of the suppliers of the instant new hedges totally sold out in the UK. So I think he did very well to put it together, and I love to see a tree in a show garden that he uses a lot of in his gardens that I've never used before, and I'm going to find out all about it now, and I might start using it myself because it does look very promising. Otherwise, I think there's things like the outdoor bar, the outdoor kitchen, the table, the water, all fits nicely together. He was marked down also for having too big a table on the space, which I think is a bit unfair. He thought he'd put a bigger table in because of social distancing and COVID, and they've criticised him on that. It is very difficult to please everybody, and everybody judges it from their point of view, and sometimes I think when someone's gone to a lot of trouble and financed it themselves, I feel quite disappointed that he didn't get a better medal, because I think it's got some very nice points to it. This garden by Mike Long, it's all about repurposing materials, and obviously in this day and age that's something we all are trying to do. And I think the clever touches here are the lovely sections of concrete pipe which is used here as a seat. It's like a sort of love seat. He's also used the same concrete pipe section over there, and he's got the taps in the water feature, and they come down through into the rill. Another really clever little touch that I've never seen before in the show garden is he's used RSJs, reinforced steel joists, those section steel beams, and he's actually cut the brick pavers to slot into them, and then he's formed mini bridges over the rill so you can see the water beneath you as you walk along, and I thought that was such a clever idea. This is really nice. This is a little bar table where you can sit up. There's a couple of bar stools underneath, all made of reclaimed scaffold planks. I love using reclaimed scaffold planks. And they're lovely and long, and you can do all sorts of things with them, like cladding sheds, making counters, or even we've got paving here below us. He's used levels quite cleverly. Sinking the level down for that seating area just makes it that bit more intimate. And the wall at the back behind it is made of concrete. Would you have thought that? That's reused concrete, and I think the way it's cut in those thin slivers that makes it look like a thin Dutch pavia or Belgian pavia, it looks wonderful. I would never have thought that that was reused concrete. And the scaffold, do you see the pergola up behind me? So that is old scaffold tube, so they put them across horizontally, and so you've got climbers going over it. There's a lovely rose there, and if you want to do a few pull-ups, you know, you could use those. They'd be ideal for improving your stomach muscles at the same time. This garden was sponsored by the APL, the Association of Professional Landscapers. Now, they are the trade body that actually monitor landscape contractors so that you don't get a load of cowboys out there doing your garden. You know, if they're approved by the APL, then they're going to be good. And they actually used lots of their members to help build this garden up. They used 41 different people. Now, build up is always stressful. You'll have 2 or 3 weeks, and you've got to get a lot done, whatever the weather, and it's got to look spot on. And so when you've got 41 different people working for you, and you've got to supervise them, show them what to do, and check their work's okay, that is quite a lot of organisation. So I think it's fantastic that they've managed to give those people that experience, because that is invaluable experience working on a show garden. And what's more, it also helped bring their costs down. This garden was done for an incredibly low budget compared to the other gardens. I think it was done for 15,000. And I think that is amazing, because although you think 15,000, that's an awful lot for a garden, actually it's the cost of building the garden up, living in London or near London while you're doing it. It's the cost of taking it down, which is often almost as much as building it. And it's sourcing huge plants that look good on the day. So it's nothing like building a real garden. It's far, far more expensive. So I think they've given people experience and they've done a fantastic job. Because designers are really pushing themselves to the limit and trying to get attention, they do come up with some great new ideas. So really make sure that you go beyond your initial impressions and really analyse what makes the garden work, the clever touches and what they've done to achieve the effects they have. And I think in this case, Mike Long has done a fabulous job. The thing I like about these flower shows is you always get something quite wacky that really pushes the boundary. And I think this garden by Studio Spinnet certainly does that. The garden of solitude. And it is actually, it's so peaceful because we've got no hard surfaces at all. We've got this lovely chaise longue or garden lounger just on the grass. And then you've got this very soft meadows that they've actually put in some really good perennial plants and some little shrubs. And then they've done this quite wacky thing of describing a circle with these pots of varying height with little plants in the top. And I think it's something I've never seen the like of before. And I think that it's set off with the paler blue pots and the bright blue background. To me, it looks like a picture postcard. It's a work of art and I actually enjoy looking at it. And I would enjoy gardening it and I would enjoy living with it. It's something just so totally different. And I think Studio Spinnet have done something really original, which is quite difficult in this day and age. And I think it's a thoroughly charming, beautiful little garden. In the next video, we'll be looking at some of the larger gardens here at the show. Gardens that look to the future, be it adapting to climate change or celebrating medical advancements. And we'll be finding out what the message in this bottle is.